Hello everyone, my name is Nat. Today we're going to talk about a story called Dawn of the Donuts. So focus question, why are donuts a popular part of American culture? So people like donuts and is have like a snack for the soldier that joined World War One. I think it's that. So let's continue reading. Holy donuts. Fluffy, sweet, delicious. These are just a few of the words people use to describe the donuts. Found in grocery stores, bakeries, and restaurants, the humble donut has become a staple of breakfast and snack time through the United States and the world. Various forms of fried dough have been popular treats throughout modern history. Tasty donuts like pasta were often eaten during religious holidays, festivals, and carnivals. Throughout Europe, Asia, and Africa. The history of the modern American donuts, however, begins much closer to home, by the shore of Rockport, Maine in 1847. The whole story. Originally, donuts were not ring-shaped or topped of frosting or sprinkle. They were usually round and about the size of a walnut shell. The original donut was mainly based on a recipe of the Netherlands. Dutch Celta make a fried dough dessert called olekers, or holy cakes. Olekers are small balls of dough fried in pork fat and stuffed with either hazelnuts or walnuts. People who didn't speak Dutch called them donuts. Elizabeth Gorgia lived in the Rockport, Maine, and was known for her amazing okra. She was also the mother of Henry Cockett's Gregory, a ship captain. She supplied him and his crew with donuts for their long travel. One popular legend records that Captain Georgia invented the donut during a terrible storm at sea in 1847. Captain Georgia was eating a donut when he was desperately needed at the ship's helm. He took the donut and jammed it through the steering wheel spoke in giving him the free hand he needed. Another account says he disliked the donut center because it often wasn't completely cooked. He knew were hard to cook all the way through without burning. One day he was cutting out the donut center. He had an idea. What if the hole was cut out of the dough before it was fried? Captain Georgia suggests that the donut have the center removed before uh, they were cooked. As well, Captain Georgia improved the donuts. However, it wasn't until World War One that donut became an American passion. Donut Girls. In 1917, United States entered World War One and sent 10,000 of soldiers to Europe to fight. Constant rain and cold temperature make conditions terrible for soldiers on the front line in France and Belgium. The Salvation army sent hundreds of volunteers to help the soldiers. Helen Porteous and Margaret Soudan were two of the first to go. They were stationed in northeastern France. After 36 straight days of rain, the women agreed that they must do something to lift the soldier spirit. They decided to cook something delicious, and they knew baked good make people feel happy. Pie and cake were people's favorites, but they have a few supplies and fewer fresh ingredients available in the countryside. The woman decided to make donuts because they could be served cold and the ingredients were easily found. Helen, Helen and Margaret cooked late into the night using a small pan. They fried the donuts on a wall pallet stone. They served 150 donuts the next day to the grateful faithful soldiers. Word about the donut spread quickly, and the following days a long line of soldiers waited for a warm donut and coffee. The donut was such a success that all Salvation's armies volunteered and started to make them. The soldiers were called the woman donut girl. Wherever the soldier went, the brave volunteer followed. They set up donut and coffee hut near the front line and risked their life to help. The volunteer understood that they gave more than a full belly. They gave the goodness of home. Doughboy. Uh, the term doughboy became a popular nickname for American troops in World War One. There are many theories about the origin of the term. For instance, it may have a nickname for the infantry men covered in dust, or maybe refer to the big round buttons, which assume loom of dough. The word true organ remained a mystery. By the end of World War One, doughboy became synonymous with bravery, honor, and American infantry. Spectator sports. When World War One ended in 1918, many soldiers returned home to the United States, bringing their hunger for donuts. Although Levitt, an immigrant from Raisa, spotted a business opportunity. In his baker in Orham, New York City, Levitt began frying up donuts. He started out cooking the donut in small batch in a kettle at the window. As he turned each donut over with a stick, people would stop to watch. Soon the crowd would form, and the people would buy the donut as soon as it was done. Levitt's shop became so popular that he couldn't make donuts fast enough. He needed a machine to make the process more efficient. Since such a machine did not exist, he decided to invent one. Working with an engineer, he designed a donut making machine. At first, the machine didn't work, but they tried again and again. Finally, in 1920, the 12 model was a success. He named it the wonderful, almost human, automatic donut machine and put his new invention in the window of a bakery. People fell in love with it. The public fascination with the machine and their love for relatively affordable donut attract people from all over. Everyone wanted to see Levitt's wonderful donut machine in action. The first chain. Bakers from all around the country brought Levitt donut machine. Donuts were being made in bakeries and distributions, as well as festivals and country fair all across the United States. Levitt's success didn't end with his invention. In 1931, he invented the first donut chain, Mayflower Donuts. Donuts and coffee had been an American staple. Donut also became popular in part of in part because of the automobile. People on the road would stop at donut stands that began to pop up along roadways. These stands fast, provide a fast snack for busy people in many places. In many places, donut stand became fun destiny unto themselves. Some donut shops became so popular that their owners were able to open more shops in other countries. Werner Duffer, with a recipe purchased from Joe LeBeau, opened a Crescent Creme in North Carolina. In 1937, he was so poor that for the first batch of donuts, he had to borrow the ingredient from the grocery store. He paid the store back in donuts. In the beginning, Werner only sold donuts to grocery stores and restaurants. But then, Werner noticed that when he frying up a fresh batch, people would knock on his door on the door. His donut smelled so good that people walking by couldn't help but stop. They wanted to buy his donut immediately. Werner cut a hole in his store wall and began to sell his donut directly to customers. Donut versus donuts. Many donut shop owners changed the name Doughnut into Doughnut. They felt that simplifying the spelling made the word more pronounceable, recognizable, and uniquely American. By the time the United States entered World War II in 1941, donut had become a part of American life. Women working for the American Red Cross took a page from the Donut Girls from World War One and brought soldiers on the front line hot coffee and donuts. More donut chain. When World War One II ended in 1945, the donut was at the height of its popularity. More and more restaurants and chains began to appear. In 1948, Werner Winchell has intended to open a hamburger drive-thru in Temple City, California, but someone across the street beat him to it. So he changed course and decided to open a coffee and donut shop instead. Peter Romsberg had a food truck business, parked his truck in front of a factory, and the worker would buy sandwich coffee and baked goods on their break. He noticed that he sold more coffee and donut than anything else. Since no item was the least expensive to make, he decided to open a donut shop in 1945. Dunkin' Donuts opened its door in Quincy, Massachusetts. Donut today. Donuts contain a large amount of fat and sugar, so they are not considered a healthy food. As a result, the popularity of pasta had declined in recent years. Despite this decline, over 10 billion donuts were still being made in the United States each year. Donuts are now multi-billion industry, making them high profitable since the basic donut is made with inexpensive ingredients. Donuts have been around for many years, and it is safe to assume that Americans will be eating them far into the future. No doubt the humble donut is here to stay.